Introduced in 1969, bow riders have now become the most popular style of boat on the U.S. market. They're especially enjoyed by families who appreciate that added space up here in the forward cockpit. One spot they haven't caught on, however, is the performance market, which typically favors a closed bow. Hi, I'm Jeff Hemmel from Boating Magazine, and today I'm aboard Checkmate's 2400 BRX, and this boat definitely bucks the trend. By adding a bow cockpit into the existing Pulsar 2400, Checkmate has appealed to a whole new audience while still providing the same style and performance that customers have come to expect. Want a hint of that performance before we head into the cool musical montage? I can tell you there's a Mercury 500 racing outboard right back there on the transom. Now I know I teased that performance, but this is a bow rider, so let's start right up here in the bow. One of the first things you'll notice, it's got these incredibly long lounges. I can sit back, I can relax in the sun. I've also got plenty of space when I want to have friends up here and have a nice social layout. The vinyl has an attractive diamond stitch pattern. You'll also notice in the insets here, I've got 2 speakers on each side. I've got a pair of cup holders. But one thing I really appreciate in a boat that goes this fast and can handle this sharply is these grab handles. They're perfectly placed when you're reclining against the seat. It gives you a nice secure feel. There's plenty of storage under all these seats, and another really neat feature, they attach with magnets. No more hinges. We can just put them in place. They snap right into their position and they're really secure. An open bow also gives you great access to the anchor locker. Checkmate's done a nice thing up here. They have a notch for the anchor line. That way I can deploy my anchor, I can close that hatch. Heading towards the main cockpit, the first thing you notice is the smoked windscreen. One thing that stands out, Checkmate makes these in-house. It's got a really sleek style that goes with the sporty look of this boat. Step into the main cockpit and both captain and crew enjoy high back helm seats. There are usually bucket seats on the standard option, but this particular boat has been optioned up to include flip-up bolsters as well as fold-down armrests. I appreciated that flip-up bolster in particular around the dock this morning. It just gives you a nice elevated point of view. The aft bench is wide enough for up to 3 to 4 additional passengers, and there's also plenty of storage below. There's a single cup holder at both the starboard and port console, and a trio in both the port and starboard inwheel. And underfoot, custom Deckit EVA matting is comfortable in bare feet. It's also nicely patterned to match the upholstery. Performance enthusiasts will definitely recognize the Lavorsi controls at the helm and controls for both the jack plate and my trim tabs. Our test boat is also optioned with massive Mercury 380 K-planes to fine-tune the ride at higher speeds. As a semi-custom builder, Checkmate will set up the dash in a variety of ways. Our test boat has the optional 9-inch SmartCraft vessel view. Standard is 7-inch. There's also a neat array of analog gauges around the side, as well as the addition of an analog RPM gauge to just give you that old school performance go fast look. Rounding out the helm, you have an array of push button controls, as well as under the dash a USB charger. There's an additional USB charger on the port console, as well as a small glove box and the Fusion head unit. Now what everybody's waiting for, let's talk about this beast on the stern, the Mercury Racing 500 horsepower outboard. The 500 horsepower Mercury Racing outboard is mounted on a Bob's machine jack plate with a 10-inch setback. This allows higher elevation of the outboard, which reduces drag and allows the surface prop to be at an optimal height for maximum performance. What kind of performance? Today we hit 84.5 miles per hour on a pretty choppy, windy lake. I'm sure this boat could do better in ideal conditions. I also felt tremendously confident at those speeds. The hull has 22 degrees of dead rise, but up and running, a lot of that hull isn't in the water. We're actually on a 12-inch wide, 12-degree V-shaped pad. It gives this boat just a thrilling, floating atop the water feel. The 2400 BRX also maintained that comfortable, confident feel in the corners. I was able to drop the trim and crank this through left and right turns without ever worrying the stern would lose its grip on the water. But the Checkmate is also not just a one-trick pony. It's also a good, versatile, family-friendly ride. I'd suggest adding the optional ski pylon, and you can even take the kids tubing, skiing, and wakeboarding. And I can't wrap up this video without mentioning Checkmate's exceptional construction. The hull is all hand-laid, and there's a composite core, stringer grid, transom, and liner. Transom knees are a beefy 1.5-inch thick to handle the force of the engine. The entire hull deck joint is also completely fiberglass. The exterior finish is also top-notch. Our test boat gleamed in an orange pearl coat. Accents are applied in PPG paint, wet sanded, then clear coated with up to 6 layers for a brilliant finish. If you're a performance enthusiast who also has to balance the needs of family and friends, you owe it to yourself to check out Checkmate's 2400 BRX. Need further convincing? Just listen to that engine one more time. For Boating Magazine, I'm Jeff Hemmel.